Good afternoon. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited to see such a full participant list. Before I do the formal introductions, let me just elaborate a bit on the connecting with the presentation. At the library, we pride ourselves on being the very cutting edge of technology and interaction. So I'm kind of also showcasing here the software that our instruction librarians use. So after you connect to the presentation, which again, you can do via the information at the top or the link that is in the chat box, you can react and comment to the presentation. So your instant responses will come there, or you can like, love, cat, etc. And also importantly, you can ask questions at any time too, but we'll save those all at the end. But the questions you can ask at any time. I'm just going to throw the QR code up one more time to make sure the people just coming in have a chance. I'm going to also do it as well. So, and one other thing about the questions is that you can vote up the questions of others. So if you see someone else has asked a question that you find useful, you can also vote their question up. So please do interact. We'll have some quiz questions throughout as well to try and keep things as interesting as possible. So let's go ahead and start with the formal part, the opening remarks. So welcome everyone to the 2021 edition of Library Faculty Connect Day. For those that I've not had the pleasure of meeting before, my name is Chris Chan and I currently have the privilege of serving as the acting university librarian. And I thank you all for making time in your schedules for this event. Now, in these opening remarks, I wanted to start off by just acknowledging that the past few months have maybe not been the easiest for the library. The former university librarian resigned quite suddenly, which did present some significant challenges for the library. However, actually, my hope is that many of you may not have even noticed the change because library services have remained speedy and efficient, and we continue to make progress on a wide variety of initiatives. And that really has only been possible due to the commitment shown by all colleagues at the University Library. And I'm absolutely obliged to express my sincere and public thanks to every single one of them for their ongoing efforts during this transitional period. So over the next 50 minutes or so, I have many colleagues here, as you can see on your screen, waiting to offer some insights into some of the excellent work that they've been doing. But before handing over to them, I did also want to share that the library is not resting on its laurels. We are working on a detailed strategic plan for the coming triennium. And this plan will ensure that the library meets the evolving needs of the university community. Now, to be successful in that, we will need input from the community. So please expect us to be reaching out to you in the coming semester for your views and opinions. And to that end, and also to demonstrate some of the interactivity I've been speaking about, I have a quick traffic light poll here. So very simple question, which will inform our strategic planning. Is the library meeting your needs? There are 3 options there. So again, take your device or open your tab and give us your answer. And be honest. I should have meant the poll's completely anonymous. We won't know what your answer is. I see we have 11 responses already. I've hidden the results. So, just to give you some surprise at the end. 2 minutes is probably too long. Hang on. Let's give you, let's give you 10 seconds until we close the voting. My colleagues probably think this is quite a risky question to start off with, huh? Maybe should have. Anyway, let's see what you said. Oh, great. Nobody said not really. 6 people said in some ways. And for those people, let us know how we can better meet your needs. And 11 of you have said yes. many of those may have been library staff. If so, thank you for voting the right way. Great. So again, the comments and the questions here, we don't have any questions yet, but at any point during the presentation, as my colleagues are talking, feel free to put a question in there. It won't interrupt the presentation. So whenever you have a question, feel free to pop it in to the question box. With that, let me hand it over now to, I think, Rebecca will be speaking first on three, and Wing will be helping out on three interrelated but all equally important initiatives: research support, open access, transformative agreements. So over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca. It's my pleasure to share the different types of services and support the library is providing for your research and also publication processes. So next slide, please. So what I'm going to do is to give you an overview of the services of this type at a glance, and then myself and also my colleagues will go into the details of each service one by one. So during the actual implementation stage of your research, the library provides a research data service that is custom-made for faculty members and also students from non-science disciplines. So when you approach to the end of your research and starting to think about, oh, which journal I should publish with, then the library has developed some tools for you to better understand the publication metrics and also copyright involved. And we have also arranged a number of transformative agreements so that you can publish your articles open access without the need to pay an extra article processing charge. So if your department is publishing paper journals, we also have a service to help you to move your paper journal into an electronic format. So after your paper is published, we also have support for the UGC's open access plan. We have recently launched IRIMS to better enhance the visibility of your research. And also we have the digital scholarship service to further promote your research through sharing your research materials or data with the public. So let's go to the first one, research data service. The library has pre-installed a number of data software in the library that can enable you to do quantitative or qualitative analysis along as data visualization. We not only provide the tools, but also hope to help you to make use of the tools. So we provide semester-based open workshops for faculty members and students across disciplines, and we can also provide course-embedded workshops upon request. So next slide, please. So other than the face-to-face and virtual workshops, we have also developed a number of learning videos in Cantonese so that your students can learn how to use Python to do data crawling and manipulation and use SPSS to do data analysis. We have also developed a number of online guides to serve as self-learning tools. So if you are a faculty member, if you want to meet with us face-to-face, we can also provide consultation upon request. When you start to plan ahead which journal you want to publish with, the library has also provided some videos and user guide to talk about the publication metrics and also the copyright involved. And then the next slide, please. Okay, then I'm now passing the time to Wayne to talk about transformative agreements.
Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, transformative agreements. If you were here last year, maybe you already heard of something about the transformative agreement, because last year we announced our very first transformative agreement with the publishers. So so let me just introduce you again what is the transformative agreements. And basically, I think many of you have been noticed that the library and publisher has been going to a traditional business model, which we will pay to get access to the journals. And then the transformative agreement would mean to have this be flip and then move into a new model, which is in the direction to support open access of your research output. So what is our traditional subscription model, which I briefly mentioned, but I think the visualization here could be more easy to understand. The library on the right, far right, I mean, every year we pay millions of dollars of subscription fee to publishers in return to get license for some journals, not all, right? And then these journals will provide access to our all the library patrons, faculty or students or whatever, who is also the doing research and as an author's role. And then when you do the research and written up your articles, you publish them to, with the publishers, and you pay this, you get no pay for this. So it is strange that the library has to make a substantial amount to get the access, where, I mean, your article may not be accessible to other people, which is the top right. I mean, I really like this picture because the top right is a group of outsiders that they are not able to access to your research articles because their institution may not subscribe to the journal. So you can see this, there's a kind of a wall and a lock. So we call it as a paywall that that many people cannot be accessed. So this is what the model has been in place for years. And also every year, the journal subscription would rise the price. I'm sure that many faculty members may know. So now the new model is we don't want to have such, I mean, paywall exist anymore. And instead, the library should be in a role, or the institution in a role in supporting you in the paying the article processing charge, APC, that the authors can, through this article processing charge being waived, and then the article can go through these publishers as open access. So these pictures is actually credit to our peer, Hong Kong UST libraries. They create this model to try to show how, I mean, a transformative agreement would be. And in here, you don't see a group of people kind of behind the paywall, because when everything is open access, then everyone is supposed to able to access to your research output. And in this transformative agreement is the flipping process that we would like to move to, that our own authors can get the free OA publishing of the article, while the library still need to pay the subscription access together. But that would be a two-component, read and publish. So in the old model is simply read, but now we have read and publish. So this is what the whole idea of the transformative agreement, and we want to really, I mean, make sure that the research output is going to be open access, and the funding will be kind of funding the APC rather than I want to pay for access to the journal articles. So this is the idea. And then I would like to highlight, I mean, the two agreements we have entered. The first one, we also mentioned it in the last year Library Faculty Connect Day, is the Cambridge University Press. It's a 3-year deal, and it's actually we are part of the JULEC consortium. And I would like to update you that it's very exciting to know that this agreement has been working for 11 months, and then we already have 8 papers being accepted, which are published by our HKBU author. And then the table here show you what are their affiliation. Some of the paper may be recently just approved, and they may be published sometime in early 2022. But at least these are the articles being accepted by CUP, and then And the APC is waived because it's been covered in the transformative agreement. And of course, I mean, in this CUP deal, I mean, another good thing is our access of the CUP journal in the past is 60 journals, and now we expand to the entire collection with 400. Okay, the very new one is the American Chemical Society Transformative Agreement. It will commence next month for 2 years. And we are the very first one in JULAC entered the agreement with ACS. It was initially a consortium proposal, but it's fine that the cost for some other JULAC libraries are too high that they decide to put on hold, and then we are very lucky enough to be the first one enter the agreement. And so it means that if any HKBU author published in the ACS journals research article accepted from next year, your article can be turned to open access because it will be covered by the offset tokens. But in this ACS agreement, there's a token offer of each year. And after much negotiation, we get 21 articles next year and then 25 in 2023. But this number, we also look at the publication output on ACS by HKBU author in the past 5 years, and it should be fairly sufficient to cover all the HKBU publications on ACS in this coming 2 years. And I would also like to say, don't think of, oh, it's only chemistry publications. When we look at the past publications, we do find that chemistry, physics, Chinese medicine, and biology faculty member do publish on ACS. So we hope that this will be really a deal for a lot of science disciplines for this. And of course, I mean, as I said, there's a token, but it will be based on the first come, first serve. And for the authors, when you submit the articles to ACS, you will be in the system, you'll be asked to say that you want your article to put to OA, and then the APC's charge will be waived by your after your librarian's approval. So this will be what the mechanism it is. So as the CUP. And these two publishers, they use the same platform called Right Links to monitor these kind of APC. Okay, so now let me pass to Rebecca's back. I mean, I was talking about something need to pay, but then they also offer some free service on the e-journal publishings. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. So as I mentioned earlier, if your research center or the department that you're working at is publishing paper journals or planning to publish one, please contact us because we can help you to move your paper journal to an electronic format with hosting support free of charge. And also we provide design and layout services for the e-journals. And system that we are provide an editor's module that to automate the publication workflow. We can also offer user training to help you and your publishing partners to make good use of the system. Mm-hmm. On top of the system itself, we also help you to assign DOI for all the published articles, and also to provide Creative Commons licensing support for the whole journal. So next slide, please. So talking about the open access, actually the UGC has recently endorsed a new open access plan at the beginning of this year. This is a two-phased initiative. The first phase has already started until the beginning of 2024. The research office and the library represents HKBU on the UGC coordination platform, which is a place for the UGC to communicate with all 8 institutions in terms of how to enhance the OA compliance of all institutions. So as we all know, when we usually talk about OA, we usually include green OA. That means whenever a faculty member upload preprint to an institutional IR or IRIMS is counted as OA. But in the recent UGC coordination platform meeting, they redefined it and restricting OA to only editor processed manuscripts. That means only the post-print and published versions can be counted. So when you publish a paper, please make use of the transformative agreement that Wayne mentioned as much as possible. But if in case the journals that you're really interested in are not covered in a TA, please try to see if your grant money can support paying the APC, because we hope our whole university can enhance our OA compliance. And the other task of the UGC is to collect additional CDCF data. So the library has added the additional required fields into IRIMS to enable this data collection. And we will also compile metadata and update the latest OA status of HKBU publications generated from our GC-funded projects for this whole initiative. Okay, now we're coming to the next topic, IRIMS. I assume all of you have visited the back end of the system, or at least the public portal named or branded as HKBU Scholars. So let me ask you a question first. When did you last add a research output record into IRIMS? Whether it happened within the last week, it happened within the latest month, it happened since its launch on August 31st, or you never input one? Oh, no.
It's a tough question.
Okay, finally we get something on the other bullets.
I would assume the one who voted never input one is an administrative staff. That is my mind.
That's your hope.
Yes.
It looks like we have a winner. I'll give...
yeah, you can just... Okay, you can give...
30 seconds.
Maybe, okay, thank you. Come on, if you have
I'll put the QR code
a research output. Okay.
While we're waiting, I noticed, I think I saw someone actually posted a question. It's my fault. I've given you too many options because you can't see that. But there's a comment option and a Q&A option. If you want to ask a question that we will answer at the end, use the Q&A option, because your comments will disappear. And I saw the question was something about open access, but that person, if you could please put your question in again via Q&A, that would be appreciated. Here are your final results, Rebecca.
That's good enough. Okay, let me share with you the actual data that we have collected. So yeah, so as of this moment, there are over 13,000 user accounts created in IRIMS, and out of these accounts, over 800 are current academic, teaching, and also university offices. So next slide, please. So before the launch of IRIMS, the library has pre-imported over 21,000 publication records into the system to reduce the manual work of academics. And KTO also pre-imported over 300 patent records into it. So since its launch in August, in these several months, faculty members actually it was quite actively inputting records into the system. There were close to 1,000 research output records and 300 something activities record inputted by individual faculty members. I can also share with you that the department that has the most research output records is from chemistry. So I hope other departments could chase up or pick up the trend as soon as possible. So next slide. I have both Wayne and I have talked about many services, and we will send you all the links to this service introduction after this event. And if you have any question about the transformative agreement, please feel free to contact Wayne or myself. For other services, feel free to contact me. So I'm now passing the time back to Chris. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. Thanks, Wayne. And yes, that's a good place for me to also say the presentation is being recorded and will be shared with you along with those links that Rebecca mentioned. Our next, well, before we go on to the next topic, we have a little quiz item. So quiz time. There won't be any prizes or anything, unfortunately, but let's see. Yes, wow, everyone's coming in, flooding in. You can change your name. You can't change the icon. You've been assigned, though, so looks like lots of people are in. It says there are 3 questions, but the 3 questions are spread throughout the rest of the presentation. So we'll just do one quick question now. And the question is to do with our next topic, which are our digital scholarship projects. Bit of library trivia for you. How many digital scholarship projects have been supported by the library so far? Of course, Rebecca, you're not allowed to answer because you know exactly what the answer is. Now, if you had no idea and you wanted to just guess, you should have guessed the highest number, because that's the point I want to make, is that we have supported a lot of digital scholarship projects at the library already. 25 is the correct answer. Well done if you got that one right. And here to tell you a little bit more about this and other things is our, sorry, I forgot about our leaderboard. Oh, it looks like not many people rename themselves, but Wonderland, that's an interesting name. Good job for getting that one right, and you got it fastest too. Let me finish my thought here. Digital scholarship is our next topic, and here to talk about that is Eric Chow, relatively new to the library, but not new to the university. So let me turn the time over to Eric.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for the introduction. So my name is Eric Chow. I'm the resource support manager at the library. So I want to tell you about our digital scholarship services. So digital scholarship is a unique service provided by the library. It aims to help you, our hardworking faculty members, to increase visibility of your original research. And we do so by providing various kinds of services. So the first would be data visualization. So if your research has a large amount of data that can be viewed or visualized in an interesting way, we can help you to build infographic or dashboard style websites that allows the public or even other scholars to examine your data set. So a recent project that of this kind is an interactive online dashboard we did for the Department of Journalism for visualizing social media data at a large scale. So I've got a couple of screenshots here. It's kind of tiny, I know, but in the next slide, I'll actually provide a link for you to go to that website and you can actually check them out. Okay. The second service would be digitization of primary sources. So if your research has a large amount of physical material, let's say prints or books, we can actually provide the know-hows on how to scan them, digitize them, and disseminate them on a website for the public and other scholars to access freely. The next one would be GIS, okay, or Geographical Information System Applications, which is actually gaining a lot of traction and attention in recent years. So we can actually provide the know-hows on visualizing your research data on an interactive digital maps. A recent very interesting project of this type is our Battle of Hong Kong digital mapping project. I got a little screenshot there on the bottom left, I think, which is a website for historians and the general public to look at how the Battle of Hong Kong unfolded during World War II through the lens of Hong Kong geography. And finally, we also offer help in building e-research tools such as corpuses, which are basically large textual databases on specific subjects or topics, allowing other researchers or students to freely access online for things like text mining or literary research. Okay, so next slide, please. Now, over the years, as Chris has mentioned, we have worked with various faculty members from different schools and departments, and we've accumulated, 25 digital scholarship projects in total. And, of course, as time moves on, we'll be, doing more of that. And so I encourage you to check out the existing ones that we have here with the QR code. So if you have your phone, QR code this and open the page up, or you can just simply visit this page here. Okay, so, okay, thank you. And now, okay, so some of you may be thinking, now I have an original research that can be turned into an interesting digital scholarship project, but I don't really have the resource to do so. Well, I'm happy to tell you that we actually have a digital scholarship grant program for any faculty members who is at the rank of research assistant professor or above to apply. So a successful grant applicant will get a sum of $100,000 to cover the cost of temporary staff, usually research assistants, to help with your data collection and curation for your digital scholarship project. We accept proposals from September to November each year. In fact, we just finished accepting proposals for this annual round. So on the screen here, you can see that I've included some screenshots of interviews arranged by our team for successful grant applicants talking about the experiences of building digital scholarship projects with us and the benefits that these projects bring to their own research. So if you have original research and data that you want to disseminate to reach a wider audience, be it public or other scholars, and have a nice interview video that goes into your portfolio, please keep this grant in mind. And we highly encourage you to apply for it next year, which will be in 2022. Okay, so that's all I want to share about today. So if you do have any questions or inquiry about our digital scholarship grants or digital scholarship projects, please don't hesitate to contact me. And here is my email address. Okay, thank you. So I'll pass the floor back to Chris.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, the timing of Library Faculty Connect Day is not great in terms of the grant because the closing date is at the end of November and then we have this event. And but I think there may be a clearing round, but that depends on what happens with this round of applications. Thanks, Eric. Good information there. Next on the list is new facilities at the Chinese Medicine Library. So at this point, I'd like to invite my colleague David Su, who's our Chinese medicine librarian, to take us through some of the rather nice developments recently at CML. David.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Su from the Chinese Medicine Library. I'm very happy to share with you the new facility at the Chinese Medicine Library. The update of the new furniture at the Chinese Medicine Library was supported by the space enhancement and renovation project of the Chinese Medicine Library in the last academic year. In this project, we aim to repurpose the small study room and refurbish the leisure reading area. Here is the theme of this area before the space renovation. Next, please. These are floor plans before and after the design. Comparing the new floor plan with the old one, we can see that it has changed a lot in the layout. Next, please. In addition to the changes in these two spaces, we added a couch in front of the exhibition area and also replaced all the chairs for the computer desks with more comfortable ones. Through the tenders, Kukuyo and of Max eventually became the furniture supplier, and the high quality furniture also provides a safety guarantee for the health of our students and staff. Next, please. This is the new look at the Chinese Medicine Library after the space renovation project. You can see that we have provided a brighter and more comfortable learning environment for the students and staff. Next. Finally, we are very happy to see that the students enjoy the new furniture very much. Next. Last but not least, it is worth to be mentioned that we also provided two other new special facilities this year. One is an adjustable desk with a chair for students with special educational needs. It was supported by the special grant of UGC. The other one is the UV book sterilizer. As we all know, it is confirmed that UV light can kill bacteria and coronavirus. So I think it is a very good device to protect our users during the pandemic, and many people are using it. Next. That's all. Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot, David. You're right about the sterilizer. We have one at the main library too, and it's similarly heavily used. If you've never been to visit the Chinese Medicine Library, I would encourage you to do so. It's a very nice space, even better now since the renovations and the work that David described. You don't have to be a Chinese medicine student to enter the Chinese Medicine library. Okay, another quiz question to get Rebecca. I can see Rebecca's very excited about the quizzes. So make sure you are in. Yes, I see we have still over 20 participants in the quiz. This one is a bit of HKBU history. So let's see if you history buffs can get this one right. So Dr. Daniel C.W. Jia, by far the longest serving president of HKBU, beloved. But do you know in which year did he take up the role? I see even Rebecca is not sure. You have 10 seconds. I only gave you 30 seconds. I don't know if it's quick enough for people to Google the answer. Quite possibly it is. The answer is actually 1971. So, okay, there's more people picked that one. So I think some people out there did know. They didn't just guess. And Dr. Jia didn't retire until 2001. So he was president of the university for 30 years. I don't think that record is ever going to be broken. I mention this because I chose this as the question. Our next presenter is from Special Collections and Archives, but again, I forget about the leaderboard. Oh, Wonderland didn't get this one correct. Cecil got that one correct. Tiger Babe. So 2 people so far have gotten both questions correct. They'll be fighting it out in the last round to see who wins. Again, I brought that up because our next presentation is about the university archives, where you can find a lot of valuable documents relating to Dr. Jia's tenure and other aspects of the university's history. So I'd like to invite another relatively new member of the library team, our Special Collections and Archives librarian, Wan Yu Wong, to tell us or share a bit more about the archives. Wan Yu?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to meet you all virtually today. So I'm Wan Yu. I'm a Special Collections and Archives librarian. And one of my responsibilities is to look after the university archives. As you can imagine, we collect a lot of publications, official publications from HKBU and its predecessor, the Baptist College. But we also have a lot of archival materials, including photographs, records, audiovisual materials, plans, and artifacts. So today I've prepared a few things to show you. And this first one, if you recall the question that you just answered, it's a program for the installation service for President Jia and Vice President Chen. So again, as Chris said, it marked the beginning of a long period of leadership under President Jia. On the next slide, I've got a few memos that talk about building matters. And you may notice the very interesting letterheads on one of them. So these are really interesting historical documents that are important for the archives. On the next slide, there have been a lot of campus news type publications in the past. And this particular one on the left is called Our College. It's one in quite a number of titles. On the right-hand side, you can see a rather self-explanatory volume for the Academic Community Hall, which of course has a new name now. So these are examples of official university publications that we collect. Okay, next one. We've got a lot of photographs in our collection. And one on the left-hand side is the old Xinheng campus. Many of you might be too new to know, to have seen this one. On the right-hand side, on the top, you can see event photo, also from the Academic Community Hall. And the one on the bottom right-hand side is a bit special. We only recently discovered this 16mm film that was made in the late 1960s. And these 2 frames show the college flag at the time. Next one, we've got building plans for the Xinheng campus. So the development and changes in the physical campuses are really important information for us to collect. And last but not least, we have memorabilia in our collection. They are not our focus, but they add variety and interest to the collection, and they're great for exhibitions. So you can see we support the university's history gallery with some of these exhibits. You may notice that I haven't talked about staff or faculty publications. Indeed, they are out of scope for the university archives. So if your research output published commercially, it's really important for the library to collect them, but they're for the general collection, not for the university archives. So to wind up, I would like to make an appeal to all of you to think about us as you come across any information or documents relating to the university's history for your department or your office or your alumni, because they might be really important for us to keep for posterity. Just 2 weeks ago, we collected some meeting minutes from a retired professor in the arts faculty, and they are meetings of the staff residence committee dating back to the 1980s. So while collecting official publications is usually quite straightforward, collecting these archival documents and records sometimes are a bit tricky for us in the library. So your help in this respect will be really appreciated. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Wanyu. I think that's a great reminder, and thank you for the wonderful selection from the archives. As the university has approaching 65 years of history now, we want to make sure that those important events are preserved for the future. So thank you again. Okay, to finish off the program, a couple of items from me, and I think I have another. The final quiz question. Promise, it's the last one. This one, because my first topic is going to be about e-resources. So here's a little trivia item for you. Last academic year 2020-2021, which was the most popular journal article database of the last academic year? Some big names there, familiar names: JSTOR, Science Direct, which is Elsevier's database, CNKI, big Chinese language journal provider, ProQuest and EBSCO. The correct answer is, I think there are people with knowledge here, ProQuest is the answer. I'm always very suspicious of this, though, because ProQuest is also the company that provides the library's OneSearch tool. So part of me always suspects, I think OneSearch might be directing search. I have no proof, I have no evidence of this, but in any case, students and faculty of the university downloaded a huge number of articles from ProQuest. Before I reveal the number, we reveal the winner. Looks like Cecil got that one right again. Well done, Cecil. If that is your real name, and I assume it is, you got all 3 questions correct. Amazing. Whether you guessed or knew, I'm very impressed. What was I saying? Oh yes, the number of downloads from ProQuest in 2021. I'm losing track of what year it is. 296,000, and that's just ProQuest. In terms of our overall number of downloads for articles, they're well over 1 million, and they grow every year. So the library's e-resources are being wonderfully utilized, which is great to see. And every year we get new e-resources. So I'd just like to say a few brief words about the new resources we've acquired. I'm not going to go through every single one, don't worry. But one I wanted to highlight is LinkedIn Learning. And I've personally been making great use of this for my own professional development. I love the feature that they have. It might be a bit small if you can see it, but you can set a weekly goal. So I've set mine at 30 minutes. And you can see I haven't done my professional development for this week, but I promise I'll get around to it. But it's a great way to make sure you're doing something every week. You get digital certificates when you complete courses, and those can be posted to your LinkedIn Learning profile. And this has obviously got a lot of benefits for students to the extent that the Career Center at the Office of Student Affairs has actually designed some theme-based learning paths through LinkedIn Learning, and they are offering CCL credit to encourage students to take these online courses. So we're pretty pleased how that subscription is working out. The second one that I wanted to highlight is Sage Research Methods Suite, another major recent acquisition for the library. And this contains resources suitable for everyone involved in the teaching and learning of research methods. So it includes, as you can see here, various different types of resource, quick dictionary definitions, case study examples from field researchers, downloadable data sets, so for practicing data analysis, and also video tutorials as well. So please do check that one out if you haven't done so already. There are many other new e-resources, and again, I won't go into detail this afternoon, but you can see they run the gamut from e-journals, additional CNKI subsets, online reference tools, some music encyclopedias, music reference works, primary source databases, and more. And I just want to pause to give thanks to the behind-the-scenes work that goes into this, especially Wing and her team, because acquiring these e-resources is no simple task. It's not just we go on with the credit card and purchase access. Wing and her team have to engage in really tough negotiations with vendors, review license agreements, do all the technical setup, troubleshooting. So a lot of work does go on to get these resources available to the university community. My last, or the last item for the program this afternoon is just a heads up, really, about a major library renovation project scheduled for next year. We're really right at the beginning of the process because the approval only came through in October. So this is under the UGC's AA&I, Additions, Alterations, Repairs, and Improvement Program. So the money is coming from the UGC. It'll be levels 6 and 7 of the main library, so the top 2 floors. And as mentioned, it will commence around mid-2022 is what we expect. So we've only just submitted a design brief to the estates office because they're helping us to hire a consultant architect for the project. So we're just giving them an idea of what we have in mind for this renovation project. This is the vision statement that we submitted. I won't read it out here, but in summary, we want to provide more flexible spaces. We also envision fewer books on those 2 floors and to open up more of the space for learning, teaching, and the support of research. So not much to say yet, really, but we will definitely be consulting with the broader university community in the coming semester to see what you think this space should be used for. And that's it. We come to the Ask Us Anything. I've met my target. We've got about 10 minutes. So far, it's just one question. If you do have more questions, you can either put them in the chat. You can use Mentimeter, or indeed, if you want to speak up, I believe you can unmute yourself too. There is one question here. Wow, this person is like, did I hear it right? They're so excited about the service. Can we consult library colleagues to explore which journals are best suited for our research? Who are the colleagues to be contacted? This is an excellent question. And you did hear it right. Yes, you can consult with library colleagues. And I would say the best person to contact really depends on your disciplinary area. So this is probably a good place. We haven't even mentioned liaison librarians today, which is, now I think about it, is a bit of an omission. So we do have a liaison librarian program at the university library. Let me just share this other screen here. So if you'd like to find out who is the librarian assigned to your faculty or school, you can go to About Us and Contact Information. And there is the last link here is liaison librarians and library coordinators. And there you can find who is think of them as your personal librarian. So who should I pick on? No, I should pick on myself. So if you're with the Faculty of Social Sciences, I'm the liaison librarian there. So we've tried to sort of narrow it down to individual expertise. But certainly, if you have a question that might be better answered by other librarians, your liaison can direct you to the right one. So your first point of contact for any question to do with the library should be your liaison. And if they can't help you directly, they will find the person who can. So thank you very much for that question. I'm slowing down now because I can see there's no more questions. I'm going to mark that one as answered. Oh, a good question has been sent directly to me, so I won't say who asked it, and they might be a bit shy, which is totally fine. The question was, will you share the presentation so I can share it with colleagues who are not able to join? Absolutely. We will share the recording of this presentation, which we'll put it on YouTube. So it's, like and subscribe. You can share that with everyone. We'll share the link to the presentation as well, because I know not everyone has time to watch an entire video. And as Rebecca mentioned too, we'll send links to all of the services that were mentioned. So absolutely, we will be sharing this so that colleagues who couldn't come today can relive the fun, relive the quiz. Okay. It's just like doing a session with the students at the end. We're all like, any questions from the students? No. If not, some people saying thanks. You're very welcome. If there are no questions, so if you think of one later, by all means, send them to your liaison librarians. With the whole package of the recording, etc., we'll also be including a very brief feedback form. So when we do send around the follow-up email, I'd be very grateful if you could provide your feedback on the event too, so we can make it better next year. But if there are no questions, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for coming, and hope to see you at the library very soon. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.